Folks, I'm going to have to get some things off my chest because it's just too much. So I have to get it out there because it's useful. Since around 2010, I have been brought to the awareness of the deep state and how they operate, and the fact that there is a group of people and a shadow government that is looking to overthrow what we have left of our constitutional one. Now, this is deeper than what you have been taught in your general education. So a lot of what I say may not make sense right away, but doing your own research, what's done in the dark will come to light. Now, I'm elaborating on what it means to be targeted and harassed in your own country for having a separate narrative and in some way, shape, or form engaging in social activism, whether it's through music, it's through a YouTube channel. There's a spiritual war going on, folks, and we have to get to the bottom of this, and we have to make sure we're doing our part to make a better world for the children that are here now and the children that are going to be here. Because I don't honestly just do this for myself. I do this thinking, well, there's other people going through this, and they may not be as strong as me, and they might just get too much and things happen, and then you never hear about the underlying story of what could happen or what did happen. What I'm saying is, when you have a time in your country when your liberties are being rolled back for the excuse of protecting you, when the very Constitution that you were taught it was founded on is being basically thrown out, you have decisions to make. And when people like me are crying out, like, hey, the reason I don't hold a regular job anymore is because as much as I can access employment somewhere, they can. And not to mention, there can be things said to those that will prohibit you from getting a job there, prevent you, and they can't disclose that to you. And then the jobs you do get just happen to be mostly already infiltrated by the deep state, either that corporation or business at that top of that cap of that pyramid. You know, it's a lot deeper than you think. So let me get back on track. It started back in 2010 and 11 where I started seeing things happening at my jobs, and I don't think they didn't know I was seeing them. Like they thought they could coerce me and maybe get me out of my social aware political ways, but they couldn't. At a job, Lens Crafters in Tampa Bay, Florida, I noticed that I was working with some extraordinary folk. And, you know, I could toss around different names, but deep state involvement, you know, and I could see how things were almost, you start feeling like you're a guinea pig, you know, you can start to, if you have any kind of spiritual awareness and you're really moving on a certain mission, and that's why they're sent, you will get information sent to therefore basically send back. So it's not just it's going to go this way. There's a middle ground here, and there's something we're missing. I started noticing a lot of weird things happening at this job. For one, my crew was always flushing in new people, right, and flushing out old people. It was very interesting, and I could look at different stores in the region, and they were consistent, way consistent compared to me. And then, of course, it's not like this was just a feeling. Different things would be said, right? So one example, I'll give you one example here. For one, if anyone knows anything about me as a hip-hop artist and a person, I'm definitely into Tupac and the Outlaws and all that good stuff. I'm into that stuff, right? Those are my dudes. Like, born and raised on that hip hop culture, and I've studied a lot about different things. But I was sitting down with one of the last guys that moved in at this job, and his name was P. Douglas, and coincidentally, he went by P. Diddy. And these are the type of games that get played, folks. So, here I am, if you know anything about hip hop, the Bad Boy and Death Row, the Pac and the Big and the Puffy and the Suge, the whole thing, right? It's not that. You start to see these are the little games they play. These are just little examples I'm going to give you. And everything's coordinating. So the truth matches in alignment with what you're thinking. And it's unraveling. And what's going on is, well, I think there's a lot of covert operations that are paying attention to those that don't toe the narrative, let's say, spewed by the corporate media. Like, example being, if you don't fall for the 9/11 fairy tale and you actually do some of your own research past Fox or CNN. And, we've all seen the Michael Moore documentaries where a guy, somebody says something in a gym to somebody else, and then the FBI wants to know how he's talking about Bush and 9/11 and how he don't believe it was just these terrorists. So that was back in, 2001, 2002, guys. After 9/11, and we all know that's interesting enough. Do your own research. A third tower falls with no plane hitting it. I mean, come on, man. These towers are made to withstand planes. They fall at, cartoon physics, with cartoon physics. And it's all a heist, man. It's all a heist by an upper class and these secret sects that feel they are entitled to have something more than us, that they somehow justify to themselves these evil, wicked games. And that was part of their plan. And let's just call it a dark consciousness or an unconsciousness, okay? And so since then, we've been stripped of a lot of liberties, right? And I'm a person that was at the Obama inauguration. I'm hoping for change. But I started noticing, he didn't do anything about the spy state. It's increased. It stayed the same. I know I'm not just talking to me on here right now, but it's all good. We got to move forward. But this is information for those that are just getting into this. If you've noticed anything weird happening at your jobs, there's more than one person in on it, and you're not sure what's happening, and you feel out of place, and you all of a sudden maybe not feeling supported, and then you go to family and friends, and they can't follow it and can't tell you nothing or call it. Well, this is for you. Like, what's up? A salute. Because, there's a crack dealer on the corner somewhere, and there's somebody doing all kinds of bad shit to whatever, to whoever. And these motherfuckers ain't getting caught, and these people are, they're out there. But you have been selected, and in your heart that you probably don't necessarily deserve it. But in a sense, we've signed up for this in our soul contract. So let's rock. But I'm going to give you some tips so you can get through it. Find a way you can make money without being dictated from outside sources as much as possible. That's number one. Number two is don't be fooled by friends that might get in. You'll be able to tell, because this will not end at the jobs. And this might not even end with friends. This could even go as far as people in your family being involved. And I know that might seem like, yeah, right, but I am. So let me proceed with that. Let's talk about a little something here. There's a certain thing called occult knowledge, and there's a certain thing called secret societies. And conspiracy theory is a term that is actually brought up from the CIA to help discredit those that may be onto them. Let's say this too, because I'm just going to keep going. I don't know, this train is stopping. If you're protecting me and making sure everything's good by us not having any more privacy, we got to protect them too. So why are they having classified files? Why? You start to get to see where this stuff's going, but it's all part of the plan for us to wake up. You got different polarities. And, we do have a fork in the road to an extent, because life cycles are declining on the planet. By 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. If you've never had a feeling of needing to wake up and pay attention to shit outside of the norm, If you've ever never had that feeling, let me give it to you now, because whether you point at the political arena, the media arena, the environmental arena, even the music we're watching and the stupid fucking shows, it's all bullshit. What does your higher self tell you should do on this planet right now? What is your higher self calling you to do? And those that have joined secrecy and stuff, I tell you that's null and void, because as a constitutionalist, we follow a transparency. We follow, we got ideas to better the people, let's share them and do it. We follow that John Lennon, imagine all the people. We're on that consciousness that allows a planet to get on the right track and then go visit other ones and help them out if they're in a mess. We follow that. But when you're dealing with a banking cartel and you're dealing with the same people that's in the FDA and the same people that's working for the government and the same people that's regulating them supposedly, you get the gist. And then you got a Federal Reserve that's privately owned, lending money for us at interest rates we'll never pay back. They got us in a vice grip from the beginning. And Abraham Lincoln and JFK both challenged the Federal Reserve, or the bank of their day. I don't think it was the Federal Reserve at Abe's time, but for JFK, he challenged the Federal Reserve. And we know the story. Lyndon Johnson threw that out. And the CIA also wanted to do a false flag. They wanted to blow up a plane over Florida, or they wanted to blow up a boat full of refugees and blame it on Castro. And then they wanted to go in there and take him out and get the will of the American people behind him. Well, what does that sound like to you? Does that sound like anything familiar? Well, JFK, being the integrity, character, soulful man he was, went ahead and said, hell no. I'm not going along with the false flag. And he took it further and started exposing it. And he wasn't going to be finished exposing it. He just got cut off. But his mission is still good. His mission is still eternal. So this all connects, folks. It isn't disconnected. One thing isn't disconnected from another. When we talk about the big divide between the red and the blue, the Democrats and the Republicans, Crips and Bloods, divide and conquer, folks. None of them have answers, man. None of them really have answers. We do have answers. The people have answers. The scientists, the technicians that have gone out the money box, we have answers. But will the people listen? And at what time would it take for them to want to listen? We got fake fires going down in California and different places. We got false flag events. We got the Las Vegas shooting happening. And there's multiple shooters and multiple witnesses testifying of that. And then multiple deaths of the witnesses. So whether it's a car that's combusting and blowing up with no other car involved in the accident, just blew up on its own, or it's a murder, or it's someone dying in their sleep from natural causes, these witnesses that have said there are multiple shooters at the Las Vegas scene are dead. So they challenge the mainstream narrative. I challenge the mainstream narrative. Who challenges that? Now, if you're challenging me, just challenge me to educate you or share these ideas and get them out. Challenge me with something that you know that could help us get out of the mess, because that's what I'm on. So this is also for all the perps. This isn't just for those targeted. This is for those doing the targeting. Like, you're not on your best soulful mission when your life is revolving around a secrecy and annoying people you've never met. Like, is that real to you? What would be real is to sit down and have a conversation with them. Like, I want to get to know this person. Like, I can't get hired to just fuck with somebody. I don't even know them. And as a matter of fact, what does that say about you? What are some of the main things that we are facing today in society? To me, some of the most honorable goals and issues to pay attention with is, why do we have war still? Well, I mean, because at this rate, we're going to have bombs big enough to blow us all up. Why is there poverty still? Martin Luther King was getting ready to march for for equal pay. Okay, he was going past racism, equal pay. Oh, look out, banksters, we're moving in. Come on. I mean, I don't even think I need to keep on going. This is bullshit. Like, wake up, wake the fuck up. I don't tell people I'm having issues at jobs because I imagine it. I don't go out on a limb because one day I had one coincidence. I'm talking about having them that are targeting you at the jobs admitting they are. I have those stories, and I'll give you one before I end it. I was working at a fast food restaurant, and the games were being played there. It was continuing. My own country. I guess we fucked Iraq up enough. Let's fuck each other up now. Okay? And games were being played. So, like, I would have conversations with my niece and there would be 5 things the next day bringing out 5 elements of 5 different conversations. One example is I was telling her that, you know, they probably got files on me and everything. And then I go into the office and they want me to sign a paperwork, and they got 2 names on a sticky pad that says Joseph's file is missing and someone else's was. It's just like stuff like that. And then they also brought up something else about a Facebook post that was relevant to my situation at the time. And so this stuff will bug you out and bug you out. Well, I ended up finally just snapping and calling it out. And the lead guy, you know, sergeant in arms, undercover, unconstitutionally, you know, we're going at each other. Because one thing I said the night before I worked that day was that I thought someone in my family might grow up and want to rap and kind of be like Uncle Joe. And his name was Joshua. And so me and my niece, we were talking about that. That's my great nephew. My niece is 15, 16 at the time. And we're talking, she's like, I think Joshua's going to, whatever. So Joshua's brought up. And this was the final straw this day that they're pinging me. He goes, hey, Joshua. How you doing, Joshua? I'm like, my name's Joseph. And he goes, I know. I said, you know what? I just started blowing up and I can't remember what started it. But I got to the point where I said, I've created my own terminology, and it's called mathematical improbabilities of coincidences, right? And you start to realize that this is a language that they're using because, you know, publicly they couldn't do this. The people would be like, no, but they're going to do it like that because that's how snakes move. Feel me? So I call him out for it, and I'm calling him out. I'm like, but it's not a coincidence. He goes, no, it's not. He's starting to get heated because, mind you, I'm saying it pretty calmly compared to when we're in the moment. But he's getting heated. I'm getting heated. He goes, no, it's not a coincidence. Is it? And I'm like, damn, dude, I got him going. And we started going off on each other. And I said, you guys are taking the Constitution, shitting on it, pissing on it, and wiping your ass with it. Thank you. I said, you're starting to look like the redcoats. When, you know, the people that we fought to get this country, who were just doing ignorant ass shit, and we weren't having representation. Well, come on, welcome to the new world, huh? Just got to do it again. But we ain't gonna use guns, bombs. That's just killing me. That's killing you. That's hurting everybody. We're using our minds to develop the better systems to get out of this corrupt paradigm. And we have the blueprints, but we also have an opposition coming against the light workers. Not to say any of my people are perfect, but I'm telling you, they're more on that end of humanitarianism than let me get some monetary gains. Let me pay my rent. They're way past that. They're willing to die. They're willing to give up everything. They're willing to give up their reputation, their jobs. They put it all on the line for their heart and their mind and their soul and their spirit to be aligned to the highest potential possible. And then that means not ignoring what you know is going to help your people. And then when you got stuff coming against you, when you were just genuinely trying to help them, you're going to have to call it out because you don't want this happening to your next children coming up because they're questioning this corrupt punk shit. And then they're questioning it. So what? They're going to get stressed and not know what it's like to be around real people that connect with them and organically flow because now they're targeted for maybe being, come on, dog. Like, wake up. Like, you're connected to the demonic. You're connected to that. Again, I'm working on me. I'm working on my inner me, and I'm getting cleaner, and I'm getting cleaner every year. But what are other people doing when they're just paying attention to you? You know what I'm saying? You know, what's it say in the Bible? It says, judge first, and thou will be, you know, you'll be judged first. You know what I'm saying? I'm not judging none of y'all. I'm just saying this is what it's doing. You're interacting with us like this is not helping the country. You're perping on targeted people that you know really nothing about fundamentally besides what you're pumped up to hear is not helping our country. What's going to help our country is to dig deep, peep what we're saying, know that it's real. It's holding some kind of weight because there would be no reason for this amount of tension on a regular Joe. I'm Too True. Come check me out. It's tootrue.com. I touched on a couple different things, but you know, I'm gonna leave it at that. One love, keep it real, keep it moving. I got love for everybody from this to that. I'm the bridge. You know, I just want us connected, and I'm gonna be honest when it's hurting me. When these type of programs going down, it hurts my soul, man. It hurts to see where this world's going, to see that we're not respecting our own planet, to see that we're not respecting our own neighbor, to see that we're not respecting our own constitutional foundation. Because the Constitution's a start, it's not an end. But we're going backwards. We're not even going forward. We got the means to go forward. We really do. And check out my website. It's tootrue.com. ITS2TRU.com. And you'll see where Tesla's papers were confiscated by the FBI. You'll see more about this. You'll see more about that. And just keep you up on game, because it's class warfare and it's spiritual warfare. But we all need to be like together on the same plane. We need to be on the same field. And this internet and YouTube allows us to do that. And now they're moving against that too. They're trying to take the monetization of independent media away. The ability for independent media to make money, they're making it near impossible. So our folks that are giving us alternative narratives and doing their best, nobody's going to have it right all the time, but they're doing their best. And they're not some bought out motherfucker on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn it, wake up. Forgive me, Lord, but you know what I'm saying? He knows it's not, I'm not fucking cursing you. You know, devil damn it, you know. But so, man, I'm just reaching out, and I don't like what's happening with Tyrese right now. I want to get that off my chest. I'll send a prayer to Tyrese for the allegations you're going through, and coincidentally, your lady wants to make the claim on 9/11 years after you're together, and now you got to claim that you abused her. You can't see your daughter on a claim and have to pay $13,000-14,000 a month, then have your name ruined, then can't get no more roles. And people don't understand, like, well, he's rich. No, you don't get it. Like, when you're rich, you got rich bills. And when those riches, you know, stop coming, you can't afford that life no more. And I'm not saying some should have it, some shouldn't, but at least let the light bringers have some power, because they're eventually going to spread it out. But there's a darkness in Hollywood and all this shit on Weinstein. Peep this, man. Weinstein's just a micro of the macro. The whole industry's sick. The whole industry's corrupt. The whole thing, from Washington to Hollyweird, Washed-Uppington to Hollyweird. I'm out.